Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Christina. I have not been on in so long. I'm so embarrassed, but I'm going to make my passion and things that I really enjoy a priority. I feel like lately I have just been kind of at a standstill, as far as my energy level. My passion for doing things that I enjoy is kind of just not there. I think I had just a lot going on in my life, just with changes and things going on, and it's you just kind of get a little at capacity, and then I kind of felt like maybe I just hit a wall, and where I just wasn't motivated to do the things that normally it wouldn't be hard for me just to get up and do. So I was just really kind of feeling tired and just feeling myself kind of just kind of not being as motivated as I should, and feeling kind of bad about myself too for not being motivated, because I'm man, what's wrong with me? You pray for this, now it's here, and now you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs, and I'm just I felt like when I didn't have anything to do, I would rather lay down and just rest, or which is good. If you have little kids and you have a lot going on, don't get me wrong, rest is good. You shouldn't feel bad about that. But I felt like I could be doing so much more. And I really felt like I had forgotten, God's plan for my life in certain areas. Not that I forgot that I have a plan, but I forgot about the importance that goes along with having a plan for your life. I forgot and did not focus as much on as on the task and the hard work portion of it that would be required of me. You just get in a rut, and I don't know if there's any moms or just women in general, mom entrepreneurs, whatever your titles might be, sometimes you just hit walls. So I felt like I definitely hit a wall. I definitely didn't have too much energy to do too much of anything unless it was something that I enjoy doing and had to look like some form of probably relaxing. And I just don't think that I was operating in the best version of myself. I would dibble and dabble, but not consistently. So I was man, I kind of got to the point where I was just okay, yesterday I felt it all kind of just, I was man, I'm tired. I am just tired. I just want to get in bed and go to sleep. And I probably do need a good night's rest and probably a weekend of not doing much. But I just felt myself kind of just slipping back into my old habits and just being not so consistent, just not consistent with things the way that I should. And I was focused more on what I wanted success to look like in my life, and more focused on the things that I wanted. And sometimes you forget to ask God, is this what you said things would look like? Is this what you want me to do? And I wasn't really asking is this what you want me to do? Honestly, I was just doing what I wanted to do, having fun, trying to relax, not living to the best version of myself, not living up to that. And I don't feel like I was making enough noise, as far as just being on my grind, as far as living for Christ, as far as being the best version of myself. Yeah, you will need breaks. Yeah, you do need rest. But you really can't afford to lose focus on the bigger picture. The bigger picture to me has always been one thing, and that's God. Life does get in the way, and I think I've let it get in the way of God's plan for me so many times, because I get comfortable doing what I want to do and what makes me happy and what makes me feel good. And when I'm tired and I hit a wall, I just hit a wall, and I get back up when I'm ready, but I'm still here. I still have time. And there's things that I just kind of want to do differently. So I had this little situation. It's small, but I was just kind of tired yesterday. I noticed myself just being okay, I'm just I need to rest. And then around 10 something, I got an alert on my Periscope. Tiffany Montgomery was having her corporate fast, and I was honestly to God, I was no, I can't do a corporate fast right now, because I'm just not, I felt I wasn't in the headspace. I wasn't motivated to put those restrictions on myself. I wasn't really motivated to kind of push myself to even try it. And I thought about it. I was I'm just not going to do it. But I am going to her conference. I was just and it's a prayer that basically a prayer and a fast that leads up into the conference. And I love the conference. I like to go with expectancy. I'm what's wrong with me? Normally I would be on it. Yeah, girl, we got to go for broke. I need to hear a word from the Lord, because I do need a word from God, clearly, because I've been living just like doing me, you know? And I feel like I just want to get my passion back, like my passion back for things that I love. And I love God. And I was like, okay. So I was talking to my husband and I said, well, Tiffany has a fast that starts today. And I was like, but it's going to be really hard. It's from 6 a.m. It's from 6 p.m. I'm like, that's just hard and long. And he's like, well, like, whatever you say it's going to be is what it's going to be. He said, if you said it's hard, then it's going to be hard. And I looked at him because he doesn't always talk like that. But I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, that makes perfect sense. Like, I'm like confessing that it's going to be too hard for me to even attempt it. But then the other part of me felt like mentally I was in the headspace because I feel exhausted and like tired half the time that I don't even feel like I want to go for broke like the way that I would before because I'm like drained, you know? And I don't even feel like the things that I want to do, the things that God told me to do, I don't even feel like I've made them a priority anymore. It's kind of like I do a little bit here, a little bit there, and, you know, but it's not thorough. So something just told me like, you know, just to do it, you know, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. So I did it. So I started it. So I did it. And, as I was doing it, I was just like listening to different sermons. Like, you know, normally I kind of would like scan through YouTube and like I listened to this one that I'll link below by Sarah Jakes Coleman, and she was talking about basically about getting your fire back for God and getting back into position. And I was like, oh God, like you just came for me. Like literally, I don't even know why I clicked on this. I knew about the Pinky Promise, but I just never looked at that portion of Pinky Promise. I think I only watched like the intro and some worship, and that was probably about it. And she talked about how like sometimes because we're so flawed, because we like make certain mistakes, you feel like you can't or you're not worthy of coming back into the presence of the Lord. Like, and I feel like that often. Like, whenever I do things to disappoint myself or to disappoint God, I'm like, oh, Lord. You know, you get a little standoffish. Like, you just create a little distance there. Like, where you're like, okay, I'm living foul or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you just have that disconnect for a minute. And she talked about how no matter what, like you always have power over the devil. Like even if you have to walk with a limp, like even if you're flawed, even though you made so many past mistakes, like that God is a God of second chances, that God is a God of grace, that he will empower you to triumph over all of your enemies, you know, and that like God basically empowers you. Like don't be afraid to come back in his presence no matter what. Like even if you feel like you have lost your passion, he will refuel you. That's where you go when you get tired. Like Jesus knows what it's like to be here and just be like tired. But I feel like we get more caught up in necessarily like refueling ourselves the way the world will refuel themselves. I know I have, you know, because it's like, okay, well, I'm tired, you know, I just want to go to bed. I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna go to bed, I'm just gonna do what I want this weekend. And you know, like you just kick it and you just kind of like move past like the heaviness and the tiredness and the responsibilities of life and things like that. And when I'm at my best, I feel like I'm up reading the word. I'm up maybe even watching like a biblical like story, or I'm up like, you know, journaling or in my devotions. I'm fasting. I'm focused on the things that God told me to do, and my passion is just like, oh my God, it's like a fire inside of me. And I would say past few months I just haven't felt it. Like I just haven't been like that version of myself. And I'm like, man, okay, like I knew that I was supposed to watch this video, and I knew that I was supposed to talk about it. I didn't want to like go on and on about it because it wasn't even like a huge deal. But I thought about like how many women may have hit a wall, like whether it be in like your work life, your business owner, if you're a wife, a mother, with your personal life, just everything. Like when you hit a wall, like I just wanted to remind you all the importance of being able to crawl back into the presence of God, because I felt like I really yesterday was like I hit a wall, and I kind of felt like it was just a combination of just everything, you know, like just being busy, just being like just human, you know. And I think that it's important to get your fire back, and I've been lacking fire. I've been lacking on just lacking. I've been straight lacking. So I wanted to come on here and share that just so other women won't feel so uncomfortable about saying, hey, you know, because I even had a good conversation with my husband about it, and he's like, yeah, you know, like you could be doing so much, girl. You could be like in ministry heavy, you could be like promoting Christ heavy, you need to be working on your fashion, you can go back to school. He's like, you're gonna do all of this, like you have the energy to do it. Like I bind up being lazy. Like he literally said I bind up being lazy, and I was like, literally all I could say was like, I receive it. Like, I receive everything you said to me because I know it's the truth. Even though I probably don't want to hear all this, but it's the truth. And I know that there is more that I could be doing. And it's important to rest. Don't get me wrong, but it's also important to stay fueled by Christ. And I wasn't doing that. And I just want other women to know, no matter what, like how long you've kind of stayed away, or how tired you've been, or if you've been planning on something and it didn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, if you opened a business and you expected it to be more than what it is, and you didn't expect it to be this hard, like, to not give up on it. Allow those setbacks to, like, get you back on track. Like, use those setbacks to fuel you. Like, remember who you are in Christ. Like, don't forget about that, because sometimes you get so focused literally on everything that's going wrong and everything that makes you tired, and how your plate is too full, and how your children need so much from you, and your husband needs so much from you, and we forget to go back to God and say, okay, I put out so much and I forgot to refuel myself, and I'm about to start refueling myself maybe in more negative than positive because I'm not coming to you first, you know? Like, we forget about that. And it's just very important to stay grounded in Christ. And like, I definitely feel like I'm back. Like, and I'm about to come back with a vengeance. Like, so I needed probably a timeout, but I also needed to see the results of living my life based more on what I want to do, and fueling myself up, and going to church, you know, when I get there, if I'm a little late, it's okay, versus when I'm like, oh man, we gotta get out of the house, I don't want to miss worship. It's a difference. It's a difference in your passion. It's a difference in how you feel throughout the week. It's a difference on how you interact with people. It's a difference on how I am with my children when I'm truly, truly prayed up. Like, the things that worry me, like when I'm not spending time with God, I'm like, oh man, like, I hope this doesn't happen. Oh my God, like, you know, you just worry. But when I'm grounded in Christ and I remember who I am and I remember who He is, I'm like, like, no weapon formed against me will prosper, and I can put my scriptures on it, and it will fill me back up. Like, so just like as a gentle reminder, like I said, I didn't want to like make this video super long, but if it's anybody who's hit a wall, like, use that hit to get you back, like, in position. Like, because if you continue going like this, eventually you'll crash and you might not be able to get back up. But like, right now we're still young, we still have time, we have God. If you don't know God, you should get to know God, because when I tell you He helps, like, He helps. Because a girl be tripping and I'm like, dang Jesus, there's a lot going on, you know. But he's very consistent, and I felt very, you know, you're just like, okay, my kids drive me crazy. You know, it's like little stuff just start to drive you crazy, but it's really because you're just not fueled up, you know, versus when you filled up and your kids on your face, you're like, okay, like, you know, you have more energy for it, you're more pleasant with it, you remember to pray over them in a way that maybe when you're exhausted, you just like, girl, y'all go to bed, go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, it's a difference. So just like operating in your best, like physically, making sure you're making time to take care of yourself, like, because I haven't been the best at it, but I'm about to be like much better, much better. So I encourage like anyone who is interested in doing this fast. It's from 6 to 6 p.m. You don't eat, liquids only. Follow Tiffany Montgomery on like Instagram. I think she'll talk about it, but mostly on Periscope. And you pray. It's like a corporate prayer, and you just basically just tune in to her channel when she goes live, and you just pray together. And afterwards, I said, literally, I feel like so much better. Just like I'm coming out of the funk, so to speak. Like, if you know what I'm saying, I don't know, but I know that I was coming out of a funk, and I got my fire back, and I intend to keep it lit. And I want anybody else who maybe have struggled with that, like, to intend to keep it lit with me, because I know it can be hard. So girls, like, you know, if you have accountability buddy, like a prayer buddy, like for where you struggle or what areas that you just, you know, just want to touch bases on, like, to have that support, like, I think it'll definitely be nice to share this video or to reach out to each other in the comments and just to be a good support system for one another. And I thank you guys for listening, and I hope that everyone has a blessed night, and let me know how your fast goes below. Talk to you soon. Bye.